3rd and 4. Hayes goes left, Allworth right. Hayes will be covered by Willie Williams. Allworth by Athens. Foul back. Will be wiped out at the 35. Good pressure. Al Peck coming on the blitz from his linebacking position. Brett Dreyer pressuring, and Carl Lockhart coming on the safety blitz.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. And welcome to the Gridiron. I saw an article online yesterday. It's from Matt Lombardo, and it says the New York Giants boast one of the NFL's deepest and most revamped secondaries. And I gotta kind of agree with him. In the description box, I'll leave a link to this story so you can read the story yourself. Now, I mean, throughout the years, the Giants have not really been known as, secondary U. I mean, we don't have, as Dan Dierdorf used to say, a plethora of, phenomenal secondary players that we've had on our team. I mean, throughout the years, we've had some nice guys here and there. We've only had, for the most part, one guy go into the Hall of Fame that was predominantly played his whole career with the Giants. That's Emlen Tunnell. He played for 14 seasons, 11 of them with the Giants from 1948 to 1958. He played with the Giants. And he's second all-time in career interceptions with 79. Only Paul Krause, who has two more. Paul Krause has 81 interceptions. Emlen Tunnell has 79. Paul Krause also played 2 more years than Emlen Tunnell. So if Emlen played 2 more years, possibly he'd have the record himself. But I mean, just throughout the years, we've had some nice guys. Erich Barnes played 4 years for the Giants in the early 60s. Dick Lynch played late 50s to the 60s. Jimmy Patton, mid-50s to the mid-60s. Spider Lockhart from like the mid-60s to the mid-70s. Then you get into, the 80s. You got, Mark Haynes, very, very good. Unfortunately for him, he played from 80 to 85 with the Giants. He was very good. Unfortunately, after 85, he left the Giants and he went to the Denver Broncos. So, and after he left the Giants in 85, in 86, he was with the Broncos. In 86, the Giants went to the Super Bowl and played the Broncos, and we kicked their asses. So he unfortunately left the Giants and he went to the wrong team. But he was very good. After he left in 85, 86, we got Mark Collins, who won 2 Super Bowls with us. I believe he was here from 86 to 93. We've had Elvis Patterson, Jason Sehorn, had some nice moments there. Kenny Phillips, we drafted him in 2008. He won, he was on our last Super Bowl winning team. Unfortunately, he had an arthritic knee that, kind of cut his career down short. Corey Webster, who we drafted, I believe, 2005. He was very good. So we've had some nice guys. But, nobody really, and I'm not saying anybody on the Giants is Hall of Fame material. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying that just the overall collection. Now, if you go back in history, in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, there's, either 3 or 4 defensive linemen, especially if you go back in the 70s. Basically, there's 4 defensive linemen. You had 3 linebackers, you had 2 cornerbacks, and you had 2 safeties. Almost on every down. Maybe, once they started getting into the 80s, they put the nickel package in there, and maybe in the 70s, the nickel package, so you might have 5 guys, in the secondary on passing situations. Well, I mean, nowadays, you could have 5 guys on first down. You could have 6 guys in the secondary on second down. You got to, this guy's got to cover somebody in the slot. Then you got the 2 wide receivers, and heck, you might have 2 safeties, and you might have Jabrill Peppers in the box. Patrick Graham could have 6 guys out there. The way it is nowadays, you have no idea how many guys in the secondary you're going to have on the field at any given time. But, I mean, back in the day, there was just 4 guys. If you had 4 solid guys, you were pretty good to go. That's not the case nowadays. Nowadays, you need, 5 guys, 6 guys, maybe a nice couple backup guys, I mean. So nowadays, you need a lot of guys in the secondary that can cover. It's very, very important. And the Giants have a very, very nice collection of guys in the secondary, obviously. Now, we've acquired, shall we say, a lot of guys in the secondary, with high draft picks. All right, so you got, Jabrill Peppers is a first round. You got Adoree Jackson is a first round. So we got 2 guys in the secondary that are first rounders. Then you got James Bradberry, is a second rounder. Then you got Xavier McKinney, a second rounder. So we got 2 guys in the secondary that are second rounders. Then we got 4 guys in the secondary, as long as Aaron Robinson signs his contract and all. You have 4 guys in the secondary that are third rounders. Right? We got we got Logan Ryan, we got Isaac Yiadom, Aaron Robinson, and we got Sam Beal. Now we'll have to wait and see because he's not a Joe Judge guy, and he took last year off for the virus. Understandable, but he's had some problems injury wise and all. And one time he did play, wasn't super spectacular, so you're not exactly sure if he's going to make the roster. But we got 4 guys, with third round grades. Then of course, we got Darnay Holmes and Julian Love, 4th rounders. So we got 2 guys, 4th rounders in the secondary. And then we drafted Rodarius Williams, from Oklahoma State. Now there's a good chance he's probably going to make the team because Joe Judge and Gettleman drafted him this year. And if he's not going to be a starter in the secondary, but possibly backup. But I mean, he'll be on special teams. So he'll be out there. So, the Giants have used a lot of draft capital or acquiring picks with some high draft capital. There are 2 main guys, all right, which you got Adoree Jackson and James Bradberry. If we don't got those guys, we're in trouble. Now, Adoree Jackson, since 2017, he's only allowed 14 receptions of 20 or more yards. So if you figure he's played, 4 years, he's only allowed 14. So he's like 3.5 receptions a year of 20-plus yards. And he's also forced, since 2007, he's forced 18 incompletions, which has been second in the league since that time. So it's very, very important that we have him and that we're not walking out Isaac Yiadom out there. That's why it was very, very important to get Adoree Jackson. Hopefully he can stay healthy. Then you got James Bradberry. Last year he was absolutely phenomenal. He allowed 44 receptions. Now you got to remember, he played 16 games, okay? And he's been goes up against the number 1 guy on the other team. All right, so he allowed 44 receptions, 454 yards last year against the other team's number 1 receiver. So what does that tell you? So if the Giants were struggling all, they maybe weren't. I mean, he allowed like 2.5 receptions a game. Every 2 games, he allowed 5 receptions, kind of, to the number 1 receiver. So what is that telling you? They're picking on the slot, the guy in the slot, or maybe the other wide receiver. That's who they're throwing the ball to, because Bradberry did a very good job over here. Last year he allowed 3 touchdown passes, and he also picked off 3 passes, though. His longest reception he gave up was 28 yards. That happened to be in the first game of the season. In the first game of the season, he happened to also give up 2 touchdown passes. So the final 15 games, he gave up 1 touchdown pass, which was to the Buccaneers. Unfortunately, both those games we lost. We lost to the Bucs by 2 points. So the touchdown pass he allowed up, hurt. And then he gave up 2 touchdown passes to the Steelers, and we lost by 10. But, the last 15 games, he allowed 1 touchdown reception against the number 1 wide receiver of the other team, and he got 3 interceptions. That's a fantastic season. Now, I'm not going to, this is Pro Football Focus, okay? So take it for what it's worth. I'm not going to include Adoree Jackson's last season because he was injured. All right, it's kind of tough to cover somebody, with injury. So I'm just going to give you his grade. He was an 82.5 pass coverage grade in 2019. Very impressive. And now if you got to take that and you put that on the other team's number 2 wide receiver, very good. James Bradberry balled out last year. He was a 79.9 pass coverage grade last year. Now, also, just a little caveat here. I mean, that was by far his highest pass coverage grade of his career. I think his rookie season, he was like a 70.5 or something. I mean, so what he did last year, was by far his best ever. Okay. He got paid, and he was worth every penny of it. And we're so thankful that we got him. I'll tell you what. Boy, if he can do this year coming up, what he did last year, whew, boy, that's going to be super spectacular. Then we got, Xavier McKinney. He's a 69.2, his pass coverage grade last year. Logan Ryan was a 60.8 last year. Jabrill Peppers was only a 57.2. However, he's used in the box a lot. His run defense was a 71.8 by Pro Football Focus. His pass rushing grade was a 76.3. So that's why a lot of times, Patrick Graham might have him in the box. He's not going to have him some kind of out there covering people. Then you have, some of the backups. We got Julian Love was a 54. Isaac Yiadom was a 52.1. Darnay Holmes in this, I thought he did a little bit better than this, but that his pass coverage grade is a 48.8. Might have been one of the reasons why we drafted Aaron Robinson in the 3rd round. Him and Darnay Holmes are going to be competing probably for that slot. Aaron Robinson can also play outside too, as well. Flexibility, which is huge. But that's what I think we might need to. We certainly needed to upgrade. Whoever's the second wide receiver. That was a must. And now if we got Darnay Holmes with the second year Patrick Graham scheme and all, probably going to get a little bit better. And I said, then you got Aaron Robinson. They're going to be competing there. So hopefully that'll help boost our coverage. Now you got to, it's kind of funny because our best pass coverage grade last year, I think he only was in coverage 6 times, was Nico Lelos. For the Giants. He averaged 80. He got an 85.5 on his pass coverage grade by Pro Football Focus. Hard to believe. But what you need, okay, you got to have that happen. Just because you got, maybe good guys in the secondary, doesn't mean that's going to, help everything. You need the pass rush and the coverage. You got to have them both. That's why it was huge this year that we got Ellerson Smith, then we got Azeez Ojulari. You need the rush helps. The coverage helps the rush. Hopefully Carter can come back. We got the X-Man. Hopefully he'll come back. Off the injuries and perform well. Carter Coughlin, Cam Brown. You got Ifeadi Odenigbo. Will be on the line or edge rush. Ryan Anderson. So it was important for us to also upgrade the pass rush as well. I mean, got the coverage and the rush because a good rush is going to help the coverage. Good coverage is going to help the rush. But point in hand is why you need both. All right, so important to tie the whole thing together. At the Ram, we were tied last year. Our pass coverage grade was 52.6. We were tied for 22nd in the league, our pass coverage. All right. Now, we had some nice pressure, which helped the coverage out a little bit, but we definitely needed to get a little bit better. Bradberry was fine where he was at. It was the other cornerbacks that we had. All right. So tied for 22nd. It's not very good. Now, the Rams, okay, they were number 1 overall. Their pass coverage grade was 88.1. Their pass rush grade was 85.4. Their defense was number one overall by Pro Football Focus. Overall defense was 84.7. So the pass rush and the pass coverage obviously translates into total defense. Let me give you an example. The Eagles last year, their defensive front is very, very good. Their pass rush grade was an 85.4. But since they don't have anybody in the secondary, their pass coverage grade was a 47.4. Thus, they gave up over 26 points a game. You got to have both. That's why it was so important for the Giants to upgrade their secondary and upgrade their pass rush. You get the two of them together, as the Rams show, you can get yourself one of the other one. I mean, the Steelers, their pass coverage grade was very good. Their pass rush grade was very good. Therefore, their defense, so you got to have the pass rush and the pass coverage to make it all. And the Giants this year did a very good job at addressing both those needs, their pass rush and their secondary. And I got to agree with Matt Lombardo. I think the Giants certainly did revamp their secondary, and they're looking for a very, very good year as long as everybody can stay healthy. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there, and go Giants! Woo!